Hello students, in this session we will discuss about pointer arithmetic operations and some more concepts. In previous session I told you pointer is a variable that holds memory address of another variable. Now on those addresses it is possible to apply some arithmetic operations, but only a set of arithmetic operations are valid and some operations are invalid. Hence, in pointer arithmetic operations, we are divided it into two sections. Now, the first one is treated as valid operations. First one, addition or subtraction of an integer value from a pointer variable is valid. Now, to implement this operation, one argument is a pointer variable and another argument is an integer value. Okay? One operand is a pointer and one operand is an integer value. But one important thing, when we apply addition or subtraction, direct addition and subtraction is not possible. Here, the value is added or subtracted based on a new value called scale factor. This value is obtained in terms of length of the data type pointed by the pointer variable. It's a new thing. Once again, observe this point. When the value is added or subtracted from a pointer variable, the value is in terms of the length of the data type pointed by the pointer variable. With this, a new value is available and this final value is known as scale factor. Let us consider this example. Int asterisk p comma x. Now p equivalent to ampersand x. P holds address of x. Now p equivalent to p plus 2. P equivalent to p minus 1. Here one integer value is added. Here one integer value is subtracted. Now how the values are changed? Now observe, assume p holds the value as 65242. Now apply p equivalent to p plus 2 operation. Here now it converts as 65242 is p value plus 2 into 2. Why? Because p that points to an integer data type variable. For integer data type, it requires 2 bytes of memory. Hence, it is converted as 2 into 2. Now, this final value is known as scale factor. Here, the scale factor value is 4. Now, this 4 is added. It becomes 65246. In the same format, p equivalent to, now this one, p minus 1. Here, 65242 minus 1 into 2. The scale factor value is 2. Now it is subtracted from this address value. Now it becomes 65240. Okay. So direct addition, subtraction is not possible. It is performed in terms of its scale factor. Second one is a valid operation. A pointer variable can be subtracted from another pointer variable. In this case, both operands are pointer variables. Observe this example. Int asterisk p1, comma, asterisk p2, comma, 3 ordinary variables x, y, z. Now p1 equivalent to ampersand x. p1 holds the address of x. p2 equivalent to ampersand y. Here p2 holds address of y. Now apply the operation as z equivalent to p1 minus p2. Now third one is another valid operation. Pointer variable comparisons with relational operators are also valid. The relational operators are less than, greater than, less than or equivalent to, greater than or equivalent to, equal to, not equal to. Now all these are valid operations. Okay. So this one first set, which are valid operations. Now second set, invalid operations. Here multiplication of a pointer variable with an integer value is invalid operation. One operand is pointer variable, one operand is integer value, then multiplication operation is invalid. Next one, division of a pointer variable with an integer value is invalid operation. Here one operand is a pointer variable, another operand is an integer value, then division operation is invalid. Another one, addition, multiplication and division of two pointer variables are invalid operations. In this case, both operands are pointer variables. So these are all invalid operations. Okay. So this concept, pointer arithmetic operations. Okay. Now another concept, void pointer. C language supports a special type of pointer that can point to any type of variables. Such a special pointer is known as void pointer. So void pointer is a special type of pointer that can point to any data type variables. Now this one syntax, it starts with the data type void. Void is a data type, followed by asterisk ptr variable. Here ptr variable is a pointer variable that can point to any data type. Remember students, if we specify a particular data type as an int, it can point to only integer data type variables. If here we specify as a float, now ptr that can point to only float variables. But here we specified as a void, hence ptr variable can point to any data type. Okay, in this format, void asterisk ptr. Here we declare two ordinary variables, one as integer, another one as float. Now ptr equivalent to ampersand x is valid. ptr equivalent to ampersand y is valid. But one important point, it can point to any data type, but when we are accessing the value, we must apply typecasting. Then only accessing is possible. Since at the time of accessing, it is necessary for the user to specify the compiler what type of the values are accessing. Is it integer values or float values and so on. For this, we must apply typecasting. Okay. Now observe this example. Header files stdio.h and conio.h. Main program. Now int x equivalent to 10, double y equivalent to 3.45678. Now we define one void pointer as void asterisk ptr. Now ptr equivalent to ampersand x. Here ptr holds address of x. Hence now the value of x can be accessed with the help of ptr. Now we are printing value of x with the help of ptr. For this, we must perform typecasting. Hence we place it as asterisk of. Now the typecasting is int asterisk. Now the variable name ptr. In the same format, now ptr equivalent to ampersand y. Now ptr holds the address of y. Now there is a link from ptr to y. Now the value of y is accessed with the help of PTR. Now the typecasting is asterisk of double asterisk PTR. It refers to void pointer. This one, null pointer. Null is a special pointer which indicates the pointer does not point to anywhere. Now refer this one. A pointer variable can also be initialized in such a way that it does not point to any data type. Such a special pointer is known as null pointer. To specify the pointer as a null, C language supports a predefined constant called null, which is defined in different header files such as stdio.h, stdlib.h and alloc.h. Here null is a predefined constant. So if the pointer is initialized with this null, now automatically the pointer is converted as null pointer. Now observe this format, int asterisk p equivalent to null. Now p acts as a null pointer. Hence at this stage p does not point to any data type. Okay. Now next concept, this one important one, passing parameters to functions. How to pass arguments to a function? Here arguments can be passed as a parameter to a function in two ways. One is call by value, which is also known as pass by value, and another format call by address, which is also known as pass by address. These two topics is very important one, call by value, call by address, which are also known as pass by value, pass by address. First one, call by value. This one, the process of passing actual value of the variable as an argument to a function is known as call by value. Now refer this one. The process of passing actual value of the variable as an argument to a function is known as call by value. Now, when we pass actual value, now what will happen? Now this one. Here, when we apply this mechanism, a copy of the value is passed from calling function to the called function. Only a copy of the value is passed from calling function to called function. Now, this value is temporarily stored in formal argument of the call function. Now, if we made any changes inside the function definition, those changes are not recognized by outside function, since the entire changes affects only on the formal argument. Now this one important one. Changes does not affect on the original variable in call by value mechanism. For this, observe this example. Here we declare one function as change. Now this function accepts two integer arguments. Now in main program, first read two values, x and y. Now before passing to function, first print x and y values. Now function call change of x comma y. Here we are passing the actual values of the variables x comma y. Now this mechanism is known as call by value. Now when this function call arises, now control enters into function definition. Here it passes only a copy of the value. So to receive those values at the function definition, ordinary arguments are enough. Here we place two integer arguments p and q. Now p holds x value, q holds y value. Now inside the function definition, we are applying some changes on p and q. Now after function definition, again we return back to function call. Then we are printing x and y values. Now observe students, assume we are passing two values. These values are temporarily stored in p and q. Here if we made any changes inside the function, all these changes are applied only on p and q. Hence, after the function definition, x and y values are not changed. That means outside the function, these values are not affected. Now observe the result values. Enter two values 15, 20. Now before passing to function, the values are 15 and 20. After passing to the function, again the same values are available 15 and 20. Okay. So remember, the process of passing actual value of the variable as an argument to a function is known as call by value. In this mechanism, only a copy of the value is passed as an argument to the function, and these values are temporarily stored in formal arguments of the function definition. So if we made any changes inside the function, those changes are not recognized by the original function. Okay. Then second mechanism, call by address. Now this one, the process of passing address of the variable as an argument to the function is known as call by address. Now this one important one. Here we are passing address of the variable as an argument. Now what happens? If we pass address of the variable as an argument to a function, the receiving argument at the called function, it must be a pointer variable. Then only receiving is possible. Once the pointer variable received the address, it indirectly points to the actual variable. Now, if we made any changes inside the function, all those changes are reflected on the original variable, since pointer variable indirectly points to original argument. Now observe this example. Now this one, void change of two pointer variables, int asterisk, comma, int asterisk. The same main function, enter two values, x and y. Now before passing, we are printing x and y values. Now the function call change of ampersand x comma ampersand y. Now observe this one. Here we are applying call by address concept. Now address is accessed with the help of address operator ampersand. So this one ampersand x comma ampersand y. Now when addresses are passed as an argument, then the receiving argument at the function definition must be pointer variable. Hence these two variables are pointer variables. Now p holds address of x, q holds address of y. When those addresses are stored, automatically there is a link from p to x and q to y. Now we are applying some changes inside the function. Here asterisk p plus 5, asterisk p, now p points to x, so x value plus 5. Now the value is stored again with the help of asterisk p. Now p points to x, hence value is reflected on x. Same format, when we apply changes on q with the help of pointer variable, it reflects on y. Now after passing, now again we are printing x and y values. Now the result one, two values 15, 20. Now before passing to function, x and y values are 15 and 20. After passing to function, now these values are changed. Now x value is 20 and y value is 25. Okay. So in call by address mechanism, the process of passing address of the variable as an argument to the function is known as call by address or pass by address. When we pass address of the variable, the receiving argument at the function definition must be a pointer variable. When pointer variable holds its address, now if we made any changes inside the function, those changes are reflected on the original arguments. Now it shows the difference between call by value and call by address. Okay? So this one important concept. I hope all of you understood this concept. Thank you. Thank you one and all.